Namaskara. Welcome to Correct Kannada. This is a presentation on pronouns in Kannada and you will learn everything about pronouns. Okay, pronouns introduction. Pronouns are words that can replace any noun in a sentence. So example, Ravi is from Hubballi. Right? Hubballi is a place in North Karnataka. So he is an engineer. So these are two sentences. I have highlighted Ravi and he. He is the pronoun. Why? Because you don't want to keep on using Ravi, Ravi, Ravi in every sentence that we continue to write. That is the main purpose of pronouns. Okay. All the 8 vibhaktis of nouns that we learned in the nouns tutorial can be applied to pronouns. Now, it is very important if you're watching this pronouns tutorial, it's important to learn the nouns tutorial that I have uploaded. There are 3 parts to it, part 1, part 2 and part 3. And each is a 1-hour video which I have detailed completely on all the 8 vibhaktis. Only if you understand that, you will be able to understand the pronouns, because pronouns are just building on top of nouns. Okay. Words that we use for asking questions like Yaru means who, Yake means why, Yenu means what, Hege means how, Yavaga means when, Yava means which, Yelli means where. All these are called interrogative pronouns. Numbers are also treated as nouns and they will also have vibhaktis. Okay. Besides the basic set of 8 pronouns, there are many more pronouns in Kannada which we will see in this presentation. Okay. First, we will list down the English language pronoun types, and then we will see how the Kannada pronouns are mapping to it. So this will give us a good guideline on how pronouns are mapping, how Kannada pronouns are mapping to English. Okay. Okay, pronoun types in English. Personal pronouns. In Kannada, we will use the Prathama Vibhakti and the pronouns are created, and that's your personal pronouns. This is what I meant as the most important set of pronouns. We will get to that. Possessive pronouns. The Shashti Vibhakti of the personal pronouns will give you possessive pronouns in Kannada. Then indefinite pronouns. We have specific set of words in Kannada for representing indefinite pronouns. Relative pronouns, relative participles in Kannada are basically relative pronouns. So the relative participle or participles in general is a topic. We will be uploading a video regarding participles. But in relative pronouns, when we come to relative pronouns in the next slides, then I'll touch a little bit about relative participles so that you will get an idea. Intensive or emphasis pronouns. Clitics is a concept that I introduced in nouns under the Dvitiya Vibhakti. It was a Dvitiya Vibhakti, I think. So clitics is a concept, grammatical concept in Kannada, which is very extensively used. So the clitics on pronouns, clitics when applied on pronouns will give you the intensive emphasis pronouns. Demonstrative pronouns. Now Kannada has a specific set of words for demonstrative pronouns. Interrogative pronouns we saw already in the earlier slide. We have a specific set of words in Kannada for interrogative pronouns. Reflexive pronouns. Again, there is a set of words in Kannada for reflexive pronouns. These are the pronoun types in English which map to Kannada. Okay, the personal pronouns. This is the most important set of pronouns, and there are 9 of it. Now, why they are important? Because they are the guiding rules for how you form tenses with verbs, right? So that's why these 9 pronouns are important, and they are called the personal pronouns. Okay, so the personal pronouns indicates PNG, person, number, and gender. Person means whether it's a first person, second person, or third person. Number means singular or plural. Gender is masculine, feminine, or neuter. In Kannada, only the third person has masculine and feminine genders and neuter gender. So third person has masculine, feminine, and neuter. First person and second person do not have any gender. Okay, and the neuter. So third person you have masculine, feminine, and neuter gender as well. Okay, so this is important thing that you need to keep in touch. Meaning people with Hindi background, they have gender for every person. That's not the case in Dravidian languages. Okay. Personal pronouns. Nanu is I. Navu means we. Ninu is you. Neevu means you all, plural, or when you want to speak with courtesy, when you talk to elders, then you will say Neevu. This is very important. If you're not, if you're not good with Kannada, if you go and say Neenu to an elderly person, it is considered rude. So, or to somebody who is new, right? Or somebody who you don't know much, meaning you want to be formal, then you better say Neevu. So in general, Neenu is used for people younger than you or people close to you, like your wife, right? Your brothers, sisters, like that. Neevu, that is for Neenu. So Neevu is used for formal relationship. Say your father-in-law, your mother-in-law, right? Your father, your mother. Of course, in some houses, father and mother, they do call them with Nino, but Nivu is with respect. So just keep that in mind when you're talking. Okay, Avanu is he, and it is indicating a person who is physically at a distance away from you. Avalu is she, physically at a distance away from you. Avaru is he or she, but with respect. So Avaru doesn't have gender, it is common between masculine and feminine. And again, it is indicating somebody who's at a distance from you, right? Adu is again of a neuter gender object, inanimate object or animals, plants, and it is at a distance from you. Adu, then Avu is plural of Adu. So it's a plural neuter gender, but that is physically at a distance from you. Okay, now the important thing is tenses have different suffix for each of the above 9 pronouns. Okay, for each of the above 9, the tenses have different suffix. Now the important thing is the suffix. I'll talk about that in the next few slides when I talk about subject of a sentence. The suffix in tenses has to directly map to the subject of the sentence. That's the key point that I want to emphasize, but that I'll mention it again in the next few slides. So the gist of this slide is that these 9 tenses are super duper important, and they are the basic building block of the pronouns. These 9 pronouns are the most important in Kannada, and they form the basic building block of all other pronouns. Okay, personal pronouns and tense suffix. Now this slide gives the importance of these personal pronouns, how they are related to the suffix of tenses. Now tenses, right, means what? You take a verb and you add a suffix to a verb to indicate the person, whether it's a first person, second person, third person, number, whether it's a singular or plural, gender, masculine, feminine, or neuter. That is the purpose of this suffix. This suffix, right, of the suffix of a verb, when added to the verb, becomes tense. The tense has to match with the subject of a sentence. That is a key point that we need to understand. Nanu maduttene means I do. Navu madutteve, see the suffix is changing. We do. Neenu maduttiya, you do. Neevu maduttiri, you all do, or you with respect do. Avanu maduttane, he does. Avalu maduttale, she does. Avaru maduttare, he with respect does, or they do. Adu maduttade, it does. Avu maduttave, those do, plural of. So you could see the suffix maps changes with the subject, meaning the first word of a sentence will always be the subject, and that subject and the suffix of the tense, they need to match. This is the most important thing that you need to know. Right? Now there are 9, as we see, there are 9 pronouns and there are 9 suffixes. So this is just for one tense. There are 9 tenses in Kannada. There are 9 tenses that is differentiatable in Kannada. They are simple past, present, future, that is 3. Continuous past, present, future, 3 more, 6. Perfect, that is there is a perfect tense, past, present, and future. So that is 9. So the 9 tenses times the 9 PNG suffixes is 81 PNG suffix. PNG stands for person, number, and gender. So whenever I say PNG suffix, just remember that. So there are 81 unique suffixes that you have to use when you're speaking Kannada. Now these 81 unique suffixes are all, they fall in a pattern. You don't have to remember that. As you just do more and more, you will get the pattern automatically. Okay. So it's very, very important that the subject of a sentence, which will be one of these, right? One of these subject of a sentence must match with the suffix. This is a mistake that most new Kannada speakers do, where they will say Neevu, right? And then say Maduttene, right? So that's a very wrong thing. Or Neevu Maduttiya, or Neevu Maduttade, like that. Neevu Maduttade, or Avaru Maduttade is reversed, because Avaru is a person and you say Maduttade, essence it's a inanimate object. Avaru Maduttade. So if you do such things, it will be very, very awkward. So this is something that you have to be very conscious about. So you have to use a correct tense suffix for a given subject. Okay, next slide. Okay, continuation of the personal pronoun list. Ivanu. Ivanu is basically also he. It is for somebody who is physically close to you, meaning physically close. So you will say Ivanu. Ivalu is a other counterpart of Avalu, right? Again, it's for somebody physically close to you. So all these are for people who are physically close to you. Then you will use these pronouns: Ivanu, Ivalu, Ivaru, Idu, right? Ivu. Now these three are extra. So until Ivu, these are basically for objects that are third person objects that are close to you. Third person persons or objects that are close to you. Until here, Idu, Ivu. Now Atha is a synonym of Avanu. Atha also means person, somebody who is physically away from you. Instead of using Avanu, you can use Atha. It's a synonym of Avanu. Ake is a synonym of Avalu. Okay. Tavu is again a more respectful thing to Neevu, right? So it's a synonym of Neevu, but more respectful than Neevu. You use it for Gurujis, Vedic Pandits, ministers. You use Tavu. Okay. Okay. Pronouns as a subject. Now these personal pronouns are used as a subject of a sentence. Okay. This is what I was talking about. The subject of a sentence need to match with the suffix. Nanu, Angadi, Hoguttene, I go to the shop, or I am going to the shop. Navu, Manayalli, Iddeve, we are in the house. Neenu, Oduttiya, right? Neenu will have this tiya. Neenu, Oduttiya, you are reading. Neevu kelsa maduttiri, you are all working. Avanu naguttane. So this tane will go with Avanu. He is laughing. Avalu haduttale, she is singing. Avaru malaguttare, they are sleeping. Adu kudiyuttade, tade, if you have tade, then it's for adu. It is drinking. Avu haruttade, avu haruttave. If you have tave, then it's for avu. Haruttave is they are flying. So when the personal pronouns are used as they are, without applying any suffix, then they make the subject of a sentence. And when they are in the subject of a sentence, the tense suffix must match the subject. That's the cardinal rule of Kannada grammar. The tense suffix must match the subject. Okay, pronouns as an object of a sentence. Okay, Avanu, Nannannu, Noduttane. So here, Nanu becomes Nannannu. You have to add Annu to Nanu. Nanu plus Annu becomes Nannannu. And it becomes an object of a sentence. Avanu is the subject. So if you see Noduttane, the Tane has to follow the subject, not the object. It has no connection to the object. Avanu means Tane, right? Avanu Nannannu Noduttane. He is seeing me. Avanu Nammannu Karayuttane. He is calling us. Nanu Ninnannu Preetisuttene. Nanu I. Ninnannu you. Preetisuttene. Because of Nanu. Nanu means Tene. Avanu means Tane. Okay, so I love you. So Avalu Nimmannu Bayyuttale. Avalu she. So Tale. Right? She is scolding you. Okay? Nimmannu. Nimma plus Annu. Nimmannu. So all these are nothing but the personal pronoun with Annu added. Okay. Neenu avalannu noduttiya. You are seeing her. Navu avarannu tarutteve. We are bringing them. So we, Navu tarutteve. Teve is used with because the subject is Navu. But here we are learning the object. Right? The object is nothing but the pronoun with Annu added. Avalu, Adannu, ತಗೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತಾಳೆ, she is taking it, ಅದನ್ನು, right? ತಗೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತಾಳೆ, she is taking it. ಅವರು ಅವನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಟುತ್ತಾರೆ, he is tying those, neuter gender. So when the Dvitiya Vibhakti is applied, they become the object of a sentence, and you get it by taking the base pronoun and add unknown to it. You will get all of this. Okay. So same emphasis. The important concept in Kannada is the tense suffix must match a subject. So I have just de-highlighted this object of a sentence and highlighted the subject and the tense suffix. They need to match. Avanu means it has to be tane, right? Avanu means tane. Nanu means it has to be tene, not tane. Okay, that's so for every subject pronoun you have a corresponding mapping suffix that only has to be used along with the verb. This is the key concept in Kannada. If you don't get it, you will make wrong sentences. Okay, next slide. Possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns is implemented in Kannada using Shashti Vibhakti. So Nanu plus nanna. So Nanu plus a will be nanna. Okay, a is the suffix for Shashti Vibhakti. So Adu Nanna Pustaka, that is my book. Okay, Adu Nanna Pustaka. Nanna is obtained by Nanu plus a Nanna. Okay, Nanu plus a Nanna. Idu Namma metro. Navu plus a will become Namma. Okay, Idu Ninna Nayi. Ninu plus a will become Ninna. That is the Shashti Vibhakti of Ninu is Ninna. Okay, Shashti Vibhakti of Nanu is Nanna, and Shashti Vibhakti of Navu is Namma. Okay, Avaru Shashti Vibhakti is, sorry, not Avaru, Nimma Tande, Nimma. So Neevu Shashti Vibhakti is Nimma, Neevu Nimma. Tande is father. Avalu Avana Hendati, Avana Hendati. So Avanu Shashti Vibhakti is Avana. See, Avanu is a pronoun, right? Personal pronoun Avanu with a wu. When you remove the wu, it becomes Shashti Vibhakti. Avana Hendati, his wife. Avalu Avana Hendati. So Avanu Avala Ganda. Ganda means husband. Hendati means wife. So Avanu, he, Avala, her, Ganda. So Avalu, when you remove the wu, it becomes Avala. Avanu, if you remove the wu, it becomes Avana, and that is the Shashti Vibhakti of the pronoun. So Ivaru, Avara, Adhyapakaru, right? Ivaru, his, Avara, her. Meaning Ivaru means he, Avara, his. Adhyapaka, teacher, Adhyapakaru. Okay. So Avaru is the pronoun. So in a nominative case, when you just remove the wu, you get Avara, right? And that Avara is basically your Shashti Vibhakti. Okay. Idu, Adara, Gudu. Gudu means nest. Okay. So Idu, this, Adara, that's meaning neuter gender Shashti Vibhakti. Adu, right? Adu, the Shashti Vibhakti of Adu is Adara. This is important here. Adu is not Ada, okay, like others. Here, like this, Avaru is Avara, but Adu will be Adara. So this is an irregular form that you have to keep in mind. So Adu is Adara, Shashti Vibhakti. It's like it's, or that's actually, that apostrophe is. That's Gudu means nest. And then Adu, that. Avugala, Gudu. So Avugala is those. Those is those apostrophe is. So Avu, what you call Shashti Vibhakti of Avu is Avugala. Shashti Vibhakti of Adu is Adara. So these are irregular form compared to say Avalu. Shashti Vibhakti is Avala, right? So this you have to take note. When Shashti Vibhakti is applied, they become possessive pronouns. So Nana becomes Anna. So you have to remember this pattern for possessive pronouns. Okay. We will see many examples of this. We'll also see a table later on in the end that shows all the different what you call vibhaktis of the pronoun. independent possessive pronoun. Okay, independent possessive pronoun means what? Let's look at this. Adu nannadu, right? So instead of saying adu nanna pustaka, you say adu nanna du. So you add du, you don't have to talk about pustaka. You just say that is my thing. So nannadu means you're not specifying the type of the, you're not specifying the name of the noun. You're just saying it is my thing. Okay, adu nannadu, right? Avaru nannavaru, he is mine. You will say this when you say he is from my community, he is from my state, like that. Then you will say avaru nannavaru, right? Avanu nannavanu, right? He is my guy. Avalu nannavalu, she is my girl. So avalu nannavalu. Instead of saying avalu nanna hudugi, you can say avalu nannavalu, because hudugi means girl. You can just say avalu nannavalu means she is my girl. Avanu nannavanu, he is my boy, right? Instead of saying avanu nanna huduga. Okay, then idu nannadu, this is mine. For example, idu nanna lekani. Lekani means pen. Idu nanna lekani, or here nammadu, sorry. Idu nammadu mane, for example, your house. Idu namma mane. Instead of saying idu namma mane, you can say idu nammadu. Mane is a neuter gender, so you can just say idu nammadu. Avaru nammavaru. Again, we saw this example here. Avaru nammavaru, same. Avaru nannavaru, here avaru nammavaru. Others. So you can put this varu for everything. For every possessive pronoun, you can just add do and ru. You will automatically, so you will put do for neuter gender, varu for, or varu, vanu, or balu for humans, right? Masculine or feminine. If it's masculine, you will put vanu. Feminine, you will put valu. So that's why I gave this line. So you can fill this line for everything here, right? Right. So nammadu, then ninnadu, right? Yours. Idu ninnadu, right? Ivaru ninnavaru. He is yours, right? Your person, right? Adu nimmadu, that is yours. Ivaru nimmavaru, like that. Okay. So this nimmadu means it's a neuter gender. Adu ninnadu, ivaru nimmavaru, right? Avu, right? Avu avanadu. So avu means those belong to him, one person. Those things belong to him. Adu avanadu, right? Then you will say avan. So avanadu, adu avanadu. So you will basically say avanadu. This is for his. Then adu avaladu, right? So it's the same concept as what you feel here. Adu avaladu, that belongs to her. Idu avala, idu avaradu, right? Idu avaradu, this is his. Idu avaradu, again idu avaradu is just getting repeated here. Then adu avugaladu, right? Adu avugaladu, meaning that belongs to those things. Avugala, right? Avugaladu. So by adding do to neuter, you are basically creating what is called as an independent possessive pronoun, meaning you don't have to use the noun name anymore. It is like meaning same thing. So here you see the exact pattern. Adu nanna pustaka. You are using nanna means the possessive pronoun. If you just say adu nanna pustaka, say you can say adu nannadu, or you can say a pustaka nannadu. This is the equivalent of it. That a means that book is mine. So nannadu is equivalent of saying mine. So adu nanna pustaka, that is my book. This is the exact English sentence. Here, that book is mine. Nannadu. Okay. You can just say adu nannadu is also correct. You don't want to mention what is that object. So this is an important concept. Why I say that is it's extensively used in spoken Kannada. This is how they say ninnadu, nannadu, avanadu, like that they will say. Okay. So that they don't have to mention the name of the object. They will just say idu avanadu, idu ivaladu, like that. Avanu plus adu is avanadu. That thing adu which belongs to him, avanu. So that's why it's avanadu. Okay, and you can do this for all the pronouns in you can do this for all the pronouns. That's basically this do. So the rule is, pattern is add do for neuter gender, ru for masculine, feminine with respect, I mean varu, and vanu for masculine singular, valu for masculine singular, feminine singular, valu. Simple rule. So you should not say adu nannadu pustaka. That is like a double, it's like a double whammy. You don't do such things, right? So it's like a double negative kind of thing. So adu nannadu pustaka you should not say. Adu nannadu stop. Or a pustaka nannadu you can say. Nannadu it should end. If you use a pustaka, a means that. Pustaka nannadu is fine. Or you can just say adu. If you started with adu, then just say nannadu and stop. Don't put the name of the object. But if you start with a, then you can say pustaka, a pustaka, then nannadu should come in the end. You cannot say a nannadu pustaka wrong. You should say a pustaka nannadu is the correct form. Okay. This one will take a little bit of getting used to. Just keep in mind that there is something like this. Will be a good start. Interrogative pronouns, yaru. So these are like questioning, right? Yaru nimma tayi, who is your mother? Yarannu nodi hedarike ade, after seeing whom. So the who is subject here. When the who becomes object, meaning whom, after seeing whom did you get scared? So here you is the subject. This whom is the object. So in English, if you take who, which is an object, and add am to it, it becomes a, who, which is a subject. If you add am to it, it becomes object. Who is your mother, right? Who is your mother? This who is your subject. But when you make it as whom, it becomes an object. After seeing whom did you, which is your subject, get scared? Yarannu. So you basically take yaru and do a dvitiya vibhakti. Yaru plus annu is yarannu. Dvitiya vibhakti is what objects is all about. Okay, yava angadi nimmadu. So here, yava angadi nimmadu. Which shop is yours? You see nimmadu here being used. So yava angadi nimmadu, you can say nimma angadi yavadu if you don't want to use the do for nimmadu. So nimma angadi yavadu. So the do goes to yav. So this kind of construction may be new for people who are learning Kannada for the first time. I mean, people who are beginners to Kannada. It's not like learning Kannada for the first time. All of us are learning it for the first time. But beginners of Kannada, right? This construction may be a bit not so intuitive. So it takes a little bit of getting used to. Just get used to it. So yava angadi nimmadu or nimma angadi yavadu. Both ways are correct. Okay. So nimmadu, the do thing is added in Kannada. Just remember to represent yours, mine, like that. Whichever you. Okay, next. Yavaneya panktiyalli, yavaneya panktiyalli nillisabeku, right? In how many row? So pankti is row. In which row? In how many row? If you want to say how many right? How many is what I put here in English. English doesn't have a specific word, but in Kannada you have yava plus neya. Will basically neya will basically say the number of the row. Yeah, what is the number? Say for example, you have to stand in the 8th row. You have to stand at the 5th row like that. So yavaniya. Then you will say 8 in Kannada. 8 in Kannada is entu. So you will say entaneya pankti. Pankti means row. Entaneya panktiyalli nilisa beku. Nilisa is to stand. Beku means should. In which row should I stand is the question. Answer will be 8th row, right? Entu is 8. Entaneya. The neya is a suffix to the equivalent of it is called ordinals, right? In English, first, second, third, fourth. These are all called ordinals. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are all called cardinals, meaning numbers. Ordinals means first, second, third, fourth, fifth. The corresponding suffix in Kannada is neya. Ondaneya, erdaneya, mooraneya. Ondu, eradu, mooru are all numbers. Ondaneya means first. Erdaneya means second. Mooraneya means third. Nalkaneya means fourth. Aidaneya means fifth, like that. So I will say entaneya, 8. ಎಂಟನೆಯ ಪಂಕ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಬೇಕು. I will answer. Okay. Then ಏನು ಬೇಕು? What do you want? Right? ಏನು? ಯಾಕೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಆಡುತ್ತೀಯ? Why are you talking like this? Adu has got two meanings. One is to play, another one is to talk. Okay, adu. Yake, why? Hige means like this. Aduttiya. Right? Why are you talking like this? Say somebody spoke harshly or somebody said something that you did not expect. When you ask this question, Yake hige aduttiya. Okay. Hege gadi chalisuvudu. Right? Hege gali, how to drive the vehicle. Hege means how. Gadi means vehicle. Chalisuvudu means to drive. Right? So hege gadi chalisuvudu. Then ಯಾವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮುಗಿಯುತ್ತದೆ? ಯಾವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮುಗಿಯುತ್ತದೆ? So when, ಯಾವಾಗ means when. When is your class ending? Right? ಯಾವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮುಗಿಯುತ್ತದೆ? So it's ಯಾವಾಗ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ? Where is your house? So all these things that I'm trying to say, all pronouns can be vibhaktified. What I mean by vibhaktified is you can apply all the 8 vibhaktis to all of this. So you can say yarannu, that's what this is. Yarinda means from who, right? Or by who, yarinda, inda suffix. Okay, yara, if you say yara pustaka, then it is whose pustaka. That is your Shashti Vibhakti. So every Vibhakti can be applied to each of these interrogative pronouns, and that's how you get different meanings. Okay, further examples of interrogative pronouns. There are other words which also represent interrogative pronouns. Okay, 1 kilo ಬದನೆಕಾಯಿ ಬೆಲೆ ಎಷ್ಟು? Okay, 1 kilo ಬದನೆಕಾಯಿ is brinjal. 1 kilo ಬದನೆಕಾಯಿ ಬೆಲೆ ಎಷ್ಟು? ಎಷ್ಟು is how much. ಎಷ್ಟು also means how many. It's a word for how many or how much. ಎಷ್ಟು ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳು ಇವೆ? Meaning how many books are there. So that's ಎಷ್ಟು. Okay. Now this ಎಷ್ಟು belongs to a triplet which is called ashtu, ishtu, eshtu. Right? Ashtu means that many. Ishtu means this many. Eshtu means how many. Okay. So it's just like adu, idu, yavadu. It's again a pair. I mean a triplet. So this is very useful thing. Say for example, ashtu means that many or that much. Okay. So say for example you want to say, oh, I don't have that much money. Right? I don't have that much money. Then you want to say ashtu duddu nanna hattira illa. Ashtu duddu. So when you say ashtu, it means that many or that much. Okay. I don't have that much money. Ashtu duddu nanna hattira illa. Then if you want to say, okay, is this much money, is this enough? Okay. Then you will say ishtu duddu saka. Saka means you're asking, is it enough? Then you will use ishtu. Ishtu duddu saka. Then how much money do you want? Ishtu duddu beku. Then you will use ishtu. So this triplet of there are many such triplets. Keeping these triplets in mind is very easy. I mean, it's good because it will help you to form sentences easily. Okay. One more triplet. Hage, hige, hege. It means like that, like this, like what. I mean how. Hege is actually how. You can modify it and write it as like what. Right. And that's how you get the triplets. Hage means like that. Hige means like this. Hege means like what. So if somebody is asking you, hege aduge maduvudu, then you will say, hege aduge maduvudu means how to cook. Then you say, hige aduge maduvudu. You do the cooking and show them, hige aduge maduvudu. Like this only you will do the cooking. So that will be hige. Okay. So hege question can be answered with hige or hage. Ishtu question can be answered with ishtu or ashtu. But they can be used on their own itself. That's what I mean. So then they have their corresponding meanings. Okay. Yavanu. Okay. Yavanu is a very special word. It's yava plus avanu. That's why it's yavanu, which is he who. It's used in proverbs and all. Yavanu, right? Pratidina ಪಾಠ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಓದುತ್ತಾನೋ. This is not odu, it's wrong spelling. Odu is do, does use, actually it's odu. Odu means to read. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಓದುತ್ತಾನೋ ಅವನು ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆ ನೋಡಿ ಹೆದರಿಕೆ ಆಗವ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆ ನೋಡಿ ಹೆದರಿಕೆ ಆಗುವ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. So what it says is one who reads his lessons every day, pratidina, right? Avanu, he does not have to be scared of by looking at the exam. Pariksha is examination, right? There is no need for him. Avashyakate, there is no need for him to be scared of exam. That is the meaning of this sentence. So that's how this Yavanu. You usually start with Yavanu and you will always have Yavanu will always go with Avanu. Yavaru will go with Avaru. Yavalu will go with Avalu, like that. So these are used for proverbs and all. Yavanu, Avanu, Yavalu, Avalu are all pairs. Typically used for philosophies and proverbs. Okay. Endigu, ee tara kelasa madabeda. Endigu means never ever, like that. Endigu. So how is this Endigu formed? Endigu is formed from Endu. Okay. Endu is on which day. Endu ni pustaka kotte. When did you give the book? On which day? So when you want to say on which day, there is a word in Kannada which is called Endu, right? When you add igu to it, right, it negates this on which day. It's like on no day. On which day will become on no day. So on no day means never. So this is an example of other such. This is actually not an interrogative pronoun. It is just saying never. It's a word for never. It is nothing to do with interrogative. I was just trying to give examples of how such words are formed. Okay, then things like whoever, whatever, however are also created just like what you see above. They are created with suffix being added to the basic interrogative. For example, who, right? Yenu. Who is yaru, right? Then to get whoever, you will say yaradaru. So adaru is added to yaru, you will get yaradaru. So we will see these examples in the later slides. I was just giving some kind of an intro to that concept here with this sentence and this sentence. Okay, these are also interrogative pronouns. Indefinite pronouns. Okay, Kannada has specific words for indefinite pronouns. They are kelavu, manegalu, few houses. Indefinite pronouns are nothing but you can't count them. It is just, I mean, you're not giving an exact count, you're just using a word to represent roughly the number of houses, right? Few houses. Kelavu, hakkigalu, some. So some and few both are kelavu. Okay. Halavu means many or several. Halavu maragalu nashavagide. Okay. Nashavagide means they got destroyed. Many or several trees got destroyed. So this is the word halavu. Okay. Innu ondu dose sigabahuda. Can I have another dose? Right. Innu undu means one more, another. Okay. So this is innu undu. Innu plus undu. Undu means one. Innu undu means one more. Or you can use it as another. Sigabahuda means can I have. So this is one expression that we all have to regularly use. Koncha neeru sigabahuda. Right. When you say sigabahuda to somebody, it means can I have. Is it possible for me to have it? So sigu is the word used to say can I. This is like can I get, can I catch. Sigu it literally means catch or find. But you will use this in other contexts, like for example, can I get some water? Swalpa neeru sigabahuda. Swalpa coffee sigabahuda, like that. Bahuda means is it possible? That's bahuda. So this is a useful expression. Now sigu also means to meet somebody. Say for example, you meet your friend, okay, and you spoke with your friend, and you say, okay, I'll talk to you later. I'll see you later. The Kannada expression for that is sigtini. It's taken from sigu. Sigu is the verb. So sigtini. When you say, okay, amele sigtini. Amele means later. Sigtini means I'll meet you later. So that also will be used. There also you will use the verb sigu. So sigu has got multiple uses. Okay. For example, if you say a job, I got a job, right? Nanage undu job sikkitu. There also you will use sigu. So sigu literally means some to catch or getting something getting hooked. Okay, that is actually literally means sigu, but it is used figuratively in these type of examples. For example, it is like literally meaning can I catch some water, right? So like swalpa neeru, neeru means water, swalpa means little bit. So swalpa neeru sigabahuda, you will ask, right? So this is a useful expression. Please make use of it. Okay. ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಒಂದು ಯೋಚನೆ. Each has its own thoughts. So this obba means one person. So ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ means each and every person has got his own thoughts. So that's what this ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ. ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬ rigu means each and every person. Okay, so this obba is a useful, again it's a pronoun. I think we will see that obba later, but obba means each and every. You are using it twice. Obba you use twice, you will get each and every, the meaning of each and every. Rigu means each and every person also has his own thoughts. Obbobarigu undu yochane. Okay. Coffee atava chaha. Coffee or tea. Okay. Yeah, so coffee atava chaha. ಎರಡಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋದು ಎರಡಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋದು ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ಎರಡಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋದು ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ from either one, coffee or tea. ಅಥವಾ means or. Coffee or tea. ಎರಡಲ್ಲಿ, between the two, ಏನೋದು, right? ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಪರವಾಗಿ means it's okay. Anything is, either is okay. So the word ಏನೋದು is either, right? So it's basically taken from enu plus odu, enovudu, right? It's actually yenavudu. Okay, yenu is what, avudu will basically says whatever, right? If you want to say something else. So it literally maps to either in English, right? Yenodu, right? Yenodu paravagilla, yenodu or yenavudu. So by adding the vudu, yenu plus, we know that yenu means what. So adding vudu to it gives you that either effect. This is what I was trying to explain in the previous slide. So these are things that again you have to get used to such words, and then you will pick them up and use them accordingly, right? The paravagilla means is okay. That's what paravagilla means. Paravagilla literally means it is okay. Say somebody hits you when walking on the road, then they say sorry, shamisi, they will say. Then you can say paravagilla. That's what paravagilla means, right? Next, nanage anna saku. Rice is enough for me. So the word saku. These are also indefinite pronouns. Saku means enough. Okay. Then neeru kadime agide. Kadime is less. Okay, this is also an indefinite pronoun. Kadime is less. Okay. Innu koncha. Sakkare beku. Innu koncha means little bit more. Innu koncha. Koncha means little. Innu koncha means little bit more. Okay, again this is an expression that you need to pick up in Kannada to mention innu koncha anna beku, like that when you're eating, you're asking for extra sugar, then you say innu koncha. Innu koncha chutney beku. When you're in, I don't know, A to B having dosa, masala dosa, and you say innu koncha sambar beku. So you'll say innu koncha, right? Innu koncha is little bit more. It's a polite way of asking one more. Okay, yaradu beda, neither. Okay, so here we saw either, right? Enadu, enodu, right? Enodu is either. Neither means yaradu beda. So the yaradu, this is two. But if you make a combo, big combo for dirgha of do, you will actually have the meaning of I don't want both. So it's yaradu means both. When you say yaradu beda, then it means I want neither. So the neither doesn't have exact Kannada mapping word. Instead you take yaradu and add a u to it. So again, these are types of expressions that you need to get used to in Kannada to understand how to translate English to Kannada. These are all through practice, or more sentences. If we see more sentences like with either, neither, we'll automatically get used to it. So there's nothing to worry about. These are things that we don't have to remember. It is just a matter of getting used to. Moving on. Some more indefinite pronouns, because indefinite pronouns are actually a bit, I would say, complicated. That's why we need more examples and we need more practice. ಯಾರು ಬೇಕಾದರೂ ಈ ವ್ಯಾಯಾಮ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Anybody, anyone can do this exercise. If you want to say like that, this anybody, anyone is also an indefinite pronoun. In Kannada, you will say ಯಾರು ಬೇಕಾದರೂ. So it's got three words. ಯಾರು means who. Okay. ಬೇಕಾದರೂ, ಬೇಕು means need. ಆದರೂ means also. ಆದರೂ actually means although. Okay. So by putting who, need, although, right, or still, ಆದರೂ is actually still meaning even though. Actually ಆದರೂ is even though, not although, even though. So ಯಾರು, need, ಯಾರು means who, need, even though. So by putting all this together, you get the expression anybody. Whoever needed, even though, like that. It will equate to anybody or anyone. So ಯಾರು ಬೇಕಾದರೂ ಈ ವ್ಯಾಯಾಮ, this exercise, ವ್ಯಾಯಾಮ means exercise, ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, can do. Okay, ಮಾಡಬಹುದು means can do. ಮಾಡ is do, ಬಹುದು means can. ಬಹುದು is the equivalent of can, could, possibility. Okay. ಏನಾದರೂ ಕೊಡಿ, give anything. So this is again ಏನು plus ಆದರೂ. ಆದರೂ means even though. So ಏನಾದರೂ, when you put together, it equates to anything, right? ಏನು, whatever it is, this ಏನಾದರೂ. Okay. ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಬೇಕಾ, do you want anything, right? ಏನಾದರೂ ಬೇಕಾ. So this is a question. Okay. Then ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರು, it's not ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರು, it's actually ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರು. ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರು ನನ್ನ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರು. Each and everyone is my friend. So this is what I meant as ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬ. See, ಒಬ್ಬ means one person. Okay. In Kannada, ಒಬ್ಬ means one person. Male and female, it's still, no, it's only masculine. Feminine is ಒಬ್ಬಳು. ಒಬ್ಬಳು is feminine. ಒಬ್ಬರು means masculine. ಒಬ್ಬನು is masculine to say one person. Okay, one man. So when you say ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬ means each and every. ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರು, right? When you say ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರು is each and every person is my friend. That's what you're saying here. Okay. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ, right? ಎಲ್ಲರೂ means everybody, all. ಎಲ್ಲ means everybody. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ means everybody. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನನ್ನ ಬಂಧುಗಳು, right? Everybody is my relative. Okay. ಎಲ್ಲದು. So ಎಲ್ಲ means all, right? ಎಲ್ಲದು also means all, everything. ಎಲ್ಲ. Okay. ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಿದ್ಧವಾಗಿದೆ. See, ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಿದ್ಧವಾಗಿದೆ, everything is ready. If you want to say, you just use the word ಎಲ್ಲ. So ಎಲ್ಲ means everything. Okay. All. ಎಲ್ಲ means all, everything, and ಎಲ್ಲದು also means the same. Okay. ಯಾರು. So you see this ಯಾರು is rightfully supposed to be only this ಹರ್ಸ್ವರು. When you put ದೀರ್ಘರು, it means nobody. ಯಾರು ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ means nobody came, right? So ಯಾರು is who. When you make it as negative, it's like nobody. Okay. So these are expressions that you have to pick up in Kannada, where how to understand how it is formed. Yaru by itself means who. That's what we see here. Yaru means who. But when you put yaru and then a dirgha ru, right, it means nobody. Yaru baralilla. Nobody came. Okay. So there is no specific word in Kannada for nobody. It is only taken from, it is derived from yaru. So for example, there is nobody there, right? Alli yaru illa, you will say. Alli yaru illa. Nobody is there. So that's how you form such expressions in Kannada. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but we will get used to as we practice more sentences. See, we have to intentionally make sentences in English and practice them. Make sentences with nobody, make sentences with no one, make sentences with everything, and then keep on getting it, then the pattern will fit in. Okay. ಅವನಿಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, he knows nothing. So again, nothing in Kannada there is no word. So it is ಏನು, meaning the ಏನು means what, right? And when you make a dirgha of it, it is like the other, it's a complement of what, which means nothing. Okay. What means something? There is something, right? One thing. What means one thing? When you make a complement of it, it means nothing. Okay. So that's what this yenu, right? Yeah, like you have to get your mind around this to understand the concept here, right? Yenu means what? So you are actually trying to point to one thing. When you look at yenu, meaning what, right? Now, if you want to find the complement, you are not pointing to anything at all, and that's the meaning of that is nothing. Okay, that's why when you take a yenu normally and add dirgha ಕೊಂಬು for it, it becomes nothing. ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ means he knows nothing. ಗೊತ್ತು means to know. ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ means don't know. Okay, then ಯಾರಾದರೂ, right? ಕೇಳಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೀರು ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಾ. ಯಾರಾದರೂ, again ಯಾರಾದರೂ means ಯಾರು. ಆದರೂ, ಯಾರು plus ಆದರೂ. ಆದರೂ means even though. So yaru means who. When you add adaru to it, it basically gives the complement of yaru. So yaru means you are actually pointing to one person. Yaru, when you ask yaru, who is that? Then you are actually trying to refer to one person, right? Now when you say yaradaru, the adaru basically negates it and says it's not one person, it is like anybody, many persons. So that's why this yaradaru means someone. Ask someone, doesn't matter. ಯಾರಾದರೂ means ask someone and get some water. ಯಾರೋ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ನೋಡಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದರು. Someone has come to see you. So this is another form of someone. You say you don't know the person, but somebody is at the front of your house and you don't know who it is. Then you will say yaro. Instead of saying yaru. Yaru means you are specifically asking a question. When you say yaro, it means someone. You don't know who it is, so it's someone. So ಯಾರೋ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ನೋಡಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದರು. So someone has come to see you. That's when you use ಯಾರೋ. Again, I repeat, it may be like a broken record. So these are expressions in this specific language where you need to get used to, because there is no specific word for someone. Only this interrogative pronoun is taken and modified to give you the meaning of someone. So you have to understand this concept of what who means. Say if you take a word who, right? So who, what it means you are pointing to one person. Who did this? When you say who did this, you are actually asking, you are looking for one person in your mind, correct? That's who. Now if you want to say whoever, so what is whoever? Means it can be anybody. So it is more than one person. Whoever may have done it, doesn't matter, right? So that is the whole concept here in Kannada, where who means yaru. Then if you want to say whoever, then you say yaradaru. That's what you get here, and it means whoever or someone. As someone and get someone. So you add adaru, it complements the yaru. Okay, it gives a complement of yaru. Okay, so and the other form of using someone is yaru. Okay. Then something is fishy. Yeno, right? Yeno sariyagi illa. So this yenu, when you make it as yeno, it means something. So yenu means what, right? One thing. You can treat yenu as one thing, but when you make it yeno, right? When you add this o to it, it becomes something. It is a complement of one thing. Okay, intensive emphasis pronouns, and these are the clitics that I was talking about. Again, in Kannada, you take nanu and make it nane, then it becomes myself. Right? I'll go myself and give. Nane hogi koduttene. I myself will go and give it. So when you say such things, you take nanu and then just make it as nane. Take the wo away and add a to it. It will become myself. Right? Nane. Okay. Ninna aduge ನೀನೇ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು. ನಿನ್ನ ಅಡುಗೆ, you are cooking your food. You are cooking, you have to do it yourself. Or it's something like your food, you have to do it yourself. Then ನೀನೇ. So ನೀನು will be converted to ನೀನೇ, means yourself. Okay. ನಾವೇ means ourselves again. ನಾವೇ ಆಹಾರವನ್ನು ಬಡಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು. ಬಡಿಸು is to serve. So we have to serve the food ourselves. If you want to say such a thing, you have to say ನಾವೇ. Instead of saying navu is expanded into navi. So these are all called clitics in Kannada. So Kannada doesn't have a specific word saying ourselves. Just takes navu, our, and then add navi. ನೀವೇ, yourselves. Okay, ನೀವೇ ಬಂದು ನನ್ನ ಗಾಡಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ. You come yourself and take my vehicle. That's what it means. So ನೀವೇ, ನೀವು becomes ನೀವೇ. So if you understand the pattern, as long as you extend the last part as a, you get the effect of yourself, ourself, their self, myself, like that. ಅವನೇ, ಅವಳೇ, ಅವರೇ ಬಂದು ಕ್ಷಮೆ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು. ಕ್ಷಮೆ means apology. Okay, ಕ್ಷಮೆ. So he himself has to come and ask for forgiveness. ಅವನೇ ಬಂದು, he himself. So ಅವನು becomes ಅವನೇ, ಅವಳು becomes ಅವಳೇ, ಅವರು becomes ಅವರೇ. So ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, right? ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, right? ಅದುವೇ ಮುಚ್ಚಿಕೊಂಡಿತು. It closed by itself. I didn't do anything. ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ means I didn't do anything. ಅದುವೇ on its own, by itself, it closed. ಮುಚ್ಚಿಕೊಂಡಿತು. ಮುಚ್ಚಿಕೊಂಡಿತು. ಮುಚ್ಚು is to close. ಮುಚ್ಚಿಕೊಳ್ಳು means close by itself. So this aduve, adu becomes aduve by itself. Okay, so these are the clitics concept in pronouns. So next we have demonstrative pronouns. Okay, so in that list we basically have the first one, which is a. A means that. So you can say a meju. Meju means table. A means that, period. So there is no other information needed. It just means that, right? So wherever you have that, you can just say a. E is basically this, meaning something that is physically close to you. So e pustaka, right? A meju, e pustaka. Pustaka is book, right? So one more demonstrative pronoun is basically the antaha. Antaha means such, physically at a distance, right? So antaha. If you want to talk about something physically close to you, you must say intaha. So how is this antaha and intaha used? Here is an example, right? Sakkare, bella, antaha sihi vastugalu tinnabaraду. So it says, so when you're making a list, sakkare, sugar, bella is jaggery, antaha, such, sihi, sweet, vastugalu, things, tinnabaraду, should not eat. Baradu means should not. Tinnu is to eat. Tinnabaraду means should not eat. Okay, so this antaha is basically to say such things, right? Antaha, or for example, Kannada, Tamilu, Telugu, Malayalam, antaha ಭಾಷೆಗಳು ದ್ರಾವಿಡ ಭಾಷೆಗಳು. Okay, Tamilu, Kannada, Telugu, Malayalam, antaha ಭಾಷೆಗಳು ದ್ರಾವಿಡ ಭಾಷೆಗಳು. Right? So what you are trying to say is antaha is to say such as. So that's this antaha. Okay. Now there is one more similar sounding word, but it's antha. This is the Mahaprana. Antha means such kind of. Okay. So such type of. Okay. So this is again, antha is for physically somebody at a distance, right? So you say such. So how do you use it? Antaha aramane nanna ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದಿಲ್ಲ, right? ಅಂತಹ ಅರಮನೆ ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದಿಲ್ಲ. So antha means such a kind of, aramane means palace, nanna my, ಜೀವನಲ್ಲಿ life, in my life, ನೋಡಿದಿಲ್ಲ, I have not seen. Okay, that's when you will use antaha. So you can also antha. So this is antaha, this is antha, right? So you can say antha manushya noduvudu sadhyavalla, which means that type of person, that kind of person, meaning a person with very good qualities, right? Then you will say antaha manushya siguvadu sadhyavalla. Siguvadu means to get, right? Antaha, to get such kind of man is difficult, a person with very high qualities. That's when you will use antaha. So antaha is basically questioning, or it's basically pointing to the qualities of a person, right? Like this, antaha aramane. right? So the moment you use antaha, you will immediately follow it with a noun, and that noun's good qualities is what is used here. Of course, it's used for even very bad qualities. For example, if somebody is like really very bad, then disgusting person, then you will also use this antaha. But typically, antaha is used. This antaha is used to say a person is of very high quality or a thing is of very high quality. Then you use this antaha. Okay, so you have anta, then you will have the intha, right? Intha means for something, for somebody who is like in close proximity to you. Okay, then again, similarly, antaha, this such, will also have a corresponding intaha, which means something that is physically close to you. Okay, so you could see here antaha, intaha, yantaha. So this yantaha means like which. So this is such, this is also such, but closer distance, meaning close to you. Then this is such, which is it is not such, it's like which, yantaha, right? So yeah, it's like which kind, what do you need? So yantaha mane nimage beku, what type of house you need, or what house, right? What kind of house you need is also yantaha, which is similar to this yantaha, right? So here it is antha, right? This means that kind of. Intha, this kind of. Yenta, which kind of. So yenta hudugi nimage beku. What kind of girl do you like to marry, right? Yenta hudugi ninage maduve aga ishta, right? Then you will use entha. So entha, intha, and antha is used for pointing to the qualities of people, qualities of things, meaning good qualities. Whereas antaha, intaha, intaha is direct matching to such, right? For example, such things, right? Such things should not be bought, for example. So antaha vastugalu kollabaradu. Antaha vastugalu kollabaradu means should not buy. Kollu is to buy. So antaha vastugalu kolla. So this antaha is like you are making you are pointing to a group of things of similar qualities, then you say anta. Okay, so I hope this differentiation is clear, but of course in usage things will be much more clearer. Okay, third type is a, e, and yava. A means that, e means this, yava means which, right? So this is a very direct connection. This a means that book, a pustaka, a mani, a kare, right? Lake, right? A hudugi, e huduga, like that. So it's the same. Directly it maps to that and this. That, this, and which, yava. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so this is reflexive pronouns. Okay, reflexive pronoun, the idea is when the subject is doing an action on himself in a sentence, then we use reflexive pronoun. Okay, so the reflexive pronoun here is tanu in Kannada. So this is the Pratama Vibhakti of it. The Dvitiya Vibhakti will be tannannu. Tritiya Vibhakti will be tanninda. Chaturthi Vibhakti will be tanage. Panchami Vibhakti will be again tanninda. Shashti Vibhakti will be tanna. Saptami Vibhakti will be tannalli. Are all reflexive pronouns in Kannada. Okay, and you don't have Ashtami Vibhakti for reflexive pronoun. So if you see example, you will understand what reflexive pronoun is. Okay, Ravi tanu tanna tammandiru jote uru bittu hodanu. Ravi himself, tanu himself, tanna his tammandiru. You should not say avana tammandiru, right? Tannan tammandiru. So you should say Ravi tanu tanna tammandiru, his brothers, jote, with them, uru bittu, he left the village and went away. One more example, Raju tanage chikitse ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ. Raju did treatment, chikitse is treatment, on himself. So how do you say? So whenever you have this in himself, then you should say tanage, right? In a sentence. So Raju tanage, you should not say Raju avanige. So when you say Raju avanige, it means then there is some other third person that he is doing. Avanige is third person. Tannige means to himself. Got it? Since you're already used the word Raju, so this Raju is the Avanige. But if you want to talk about something that Raju did on himself, then you must use Tanage, to him, right? Tanage chikitse ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ. That's the purpose of the reflexive pronoun. ರೇಖಾ ತನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಗುಣಗಳನ್ನು ಬೀಸಿ ಹಾಕಿದಳು or ತೆಗೆದು ಎಸೆದಳು. ರೇಖಾ ತನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ in her own self, right? ಇರುವ present ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಗುಣಗಳು, bad qualities, ಬೀಸಿ ಹಾಕಿದಳು. She took and threw them away. Okay, ಬೀಸಿ ಹಾಕಿದಳು. or ತೆಗೆದು ಎಸೆದಳು means take and throw. It's all the same meaning. So ತನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ. Okay, one more. ರಾಜು ತನ್ನಿಂದ ಈ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಕೆಲಸ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ. So Raju from him, okay, from himself, ತನ್ನಿಂದ, from him or by him, right? By him, ಈ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಕೆಲಸ, this bad work, ಆಗಲ್ಲ, will not be done, meaning bad act. Somebody asked him to do something that is illegal. Okay, that's the ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಕೆಲಸ. ಆಗಲ್ಲ, will not, cannot happen. ಅಂತ, like that. ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ, clearly, right? ಹೇಳಿದ, he clearly told whoever asked him that from him, by him, this bad act cannot be done. So go and look for somebody else, like that. So reflexive pronouns are only in third person. Okay, when the subject is doing an action on himself in a sentence, then use reflexive pronoun for the object. Okay, for the object. Okay, ಕೋಳಿ means hen. ಕೋಳಿ ತನ್ನ ಮರಿಗಳನ್ನು ಕರೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿತ್ತು, right? So ಕೋಳಿ ತನ್ನ ಮರಿ, so its own, ಮರಿ means chicks, right? So ಕೋಳಿ ತನ್ನ ಮರಿಗಳನ್ನು, so its chicks, ಕರೆದುಕೊಂಡು bring them, ಹೋಗಿತ್ತು, and went. So that's the concept of reflexive pronoun. Again, based on usage, you will get the hang of this reflexive pronoun. If not, the general tendency what I've noticed from people is to, instead of using reflexive pronoun, they will use the third person pronoun, which is like avanu, for example here, right? Koli adara marigalannu, the people will put. That's wrong. This is like it's what you call marigalannu, so it should be tanna marigalannu. Okay, when the koli is talking about its chicks, so tanna marigalannu. So this is the concept of reflexive pronoun. Okay, relative pronoun. This is the part where I was talking about relative participles in Kannada. Okay, so a little bit of relative participles. Okay, so relative participle is something related to tenses, actually verbs. But because we are talking about this relative pronoun, we are forced to talk about this relative participle in pronouns itself, because tenses are next. After the pronouns only tenses, subject is there. But because the relative participle is here, we have to say it. Now, let's take an example. The doctor who runs a temple, right? This is the doctor who runs a temple. So we are talking about the quality of a doctor with an action that he is doing, right? So it's actually an adjective to the doctor, but in this form. This is called a relative clause. Who runs a temple is called a relative clause in English, right? Now this who runs a temple is basically, or who runs a, is implemented as relative participles in Kannada, right? So the example here, the corresponding translation here will be devasthanana right? ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ ನಡೆಯಿಸುವ ವೈದ್ಯ, right? ನಡೆಯಿಸುವ ವೈದ್ಯ. So this devasthana is temple. ನಡೆಯಿಸುವ is the relative participle. ನಡೆಯಿಸುವ means the one who is running, one who is operating the temple, right? So it's a doctor who is actually operating as in running a temple. Okay, ನಡೆಯಿಸುವ. So this is the present relative participle. Okay, ನಡೆಯಿಸು is the verb. You add a word to it, then it becomes a participle. ನಡೆಯಿಸುವ ವೈದ್ಯ. So this vaidya's adjective. So it's like vaidya is a noun. Usually adjective before the noun. I mean the word before the noun, which gives a quality of the of the noun is called an adjective, right? Say for example, Ollaya Vaidya. Ollaya means good. Good doctor is an example of an adjective, pure adjective. But if you use the action done by a person as an adjective, then it's called a relative participle. For example, Nadeyisuva Vaidya, meaning a doctor who is running what? A temple. Okay, so the doctor who is running is your relative participle, and you basically construct it using the verb plus verb. If you add verb, it means he's currently running the temple. Okay, one more example. The person whom you are speaking to. Okay, ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡುತ್ತಿರುವ ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದಿರುವ, you are currently speaking, so ಮಾತಾಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದಿರುವ, right? Vyakti, person. So this ಮಾತಾಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದಿರುವ, ಇರುವ, right? ಮಾತಾಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದ means continuous tense, which means speaking. Okay, that iruva basically says the one who is speaking, so this vyakti means person. So you are using the action done by the vyakti as an adjective to the vyakti, right? The one who is speaking, right? Matadittiruva vyakti. The movie which we saw yesterday, right? It's not say, it's saw. The movie which we saw yesterday. So nenne navu nodida cinema, right? So nodida cinema meaning the cinema which we saw. So that's nodida, so which means it's a past tense. So you take nodu, the verb, convert it to past tense, and you add the nodi, then the. So nodida cinema is basically an adjective to the cinema, a cinema which was seen. Okay, you could see it's actually a verb but behaves like an adjective. That's the concept here. Normal adjectives are not verbs. For example, good, ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ, ketta, bad. These are all just pure adjectives. They are not nouns. They are nothing, right? They are just adjectives. Whereas if you take a verb and make it behave like an adjective, then it's called a relative participle. This is in simple terms I'm introducing. We have a separate video. We'll be uploading a separate video for the relative participle because it's a complete topic by itself. Okay, so nodida cinema. So this is just a introduction. The shirt that you bought, right? So neenu konda angi. Angi is shirt. Konda angi meaning bought shirt. Shirt. So this bought is an action, but it's used as an adjective to what? To this shirt. So it's a bought shirt. Okay. So Kannada completely deletes the relative pronoun, uses relative participle. So you don't have this who, whom, which, that in the sentence. Got it? Meaning who means yaru, right? Who means yarannu, which means yava, that means right? But none of this is used in Kannada for creating relative participle. It's a completely different concept where the verb is taken, the verb is converted to a relative participle, and it is put in front of the noun as if it's an adjective. So this is the key point that we need to understand about relative participle. Relative participles in general is used extensively in novels and in newspapers is using it. Any writing will have relative participles or in general participles. So understanding participles is important. At this point in time, this limited knowledge is good enough. We need to take these participles completely as a separate topic. Okay. Okay, so this ex-ever pronoun idea here is basically to list down the equivalents of whoever, whichever, however, somehow, whatever, all these words in English. What is the corresponding Kannada word? In Kannada, it is actually done with the addition of two words. You could see it. So let's look at them one by one. Whoever it may be. How do you convert this to Kannada? So yaradaru irali. So this yaradaru means whoever. How do you get this yaradaru? You basically take yaru, which is who, and you add this word called adaru. Adaru means even though. Okay, so whenever you add adaru to a interrogative pronoun, you will get that whoever, whatever kind of a effect. Okay, so yaradaru irali, right? So then whichever box, right? Yavadadaru pettige. Pettige means box. Yavadadaru pettige means Yavadu means which. Adaru whichever. However difficult it may be. Hegadaru katinavagi irali. Hege means how. Adaru means ever. Or here it's even though actually. So it gives that however. Somehow get it done. That also is Hegadaru mugisi. Mugisi means to. So go somewhere away from me. So the somewhere, how will you say? Somewhere is basically Nanna bittu Dura Yelladaru Hogu. Yella means Elli. This is Yelladaru is made up of Elli plus Adaru. Elli means where. And you add Adaru, it will become somewhere. Wherever actually. So that means somewhere, right? Wherever. Hogu. Okay. Nanna bittu means leaving me. Nanna bittu Dura means somewhere far away. Okay. Elladru go somewhere. Hogu means go. I heard this voice somewhere. So this somewhere you can also say yellow. Yelly, yellow. When you say yelly is where. Yellow means you're asking like it's like a doubt. Somewhere. E dvani kelide. I have heard this voice. Voice is dvani. Kelide. I have heard. So yellow can also be used for somewhere. Okay. But if you're saying go away somewhere, then it is like elladru. So go somewhere and get it. So actually they are synonymous. Yellow or elladru can be used alternately. Okay, whatever it is, tell me tomorrow morning. So whatever, right? So enu, whatever is enu. So enu plus adru, enadaru. So adu enadaru irali, let it be whatever it is. Nale beligge heli. So tomorrow morning you tell me. Yeah, that's what it is. Then ಯಾವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ನಿನಗೆ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತದೋ ಆವಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಕರೆ ಮಾಡು. So whenever you feel like it, you can call me. So this whenever is this ಯಾವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ. So it's basically yavaga plus ella. So you can actually use ella to add, you can, other than this adaru, you can also use ella. Ella means all. So when you say yavaga ella means yavaga is when plus all, right? When all means whenever, right? So when plus adaru, meaning yavaga plus adaru will also have the same effect. Adaru ella means all, adaru means even though. So they basically cover all the options. That's basically what these two words do, adaru and ella. So yavagella ninage for you. Anisuttado means you feel like it. Anisu is to feel. Avaga meaning at that time. Avaga nanage, right? For to me, kare madu means call me. Okay, yavagadaru neevu dodda sullu heliddiya means have you ever said a big lie? That's also is yavagadaru means whenever. Have you ever? That also is yavagadaru. Okay. So next we have the complete table. So we are done with all the pronoun types. Now we just have the table in English. This is given in English for your understanding, and you will see the corresponding table in Kannada. Right? So you could see here you have I, we, you all, he, she, they, that, those. These are the 9 basic pronouns in English. The corresponding vibhakti. So if you take I, it's me, by me, to me, from me, my, in me, me. So you can actually pause this video and then take a look at each of these boxes and understand how. So for example, if you take you, second vibhakti of you is also you in English. Third vibhakti of you is by you, ninninda, right? So by looking at this table, you will know where it is, how it is done in English and how it is done in Kannada. Okay. So this is the corresponding table in Kannada. So you have Nanu, Navu, Neenu, Neevu, Avanu, Avalu, Avaru, Adu, Avu. So these 9 pronouns, the basic pronouns you have to remember, meaning you have to know. Other pronouns, you will learn it as, whatever pronouns that I've introduced, you will learn it as you read more and more. Right? But these are the basics that you need for speaking. Okay. So if you just, I'll just do one example. Others you can just pause and read it. Okay. So Nanu will be nannannu, second vibhakti. Nanninda, third vibhakti. Nanage, fourth vibhakti. Nanninda again, panchami vibhakti. Nanna, shashti vibhakti. Nannalli means in me, right? So you can look at this, and then you can look at the previous slide, and you can compare how it is. So for example, nanna, namma metro, right, means our, right? So it is got, you obtain this namma from now. Navu, shashti vibhakti of navu is namma. Okay. Okay, moving on. Okay, this is one more slide on interrogative pronouns with more information. Okay, so we have seen this before. Let's just see it again one more round. Okay, yenu is what? Yenadaru means something. So yenadaru kodi means give me something. So the yenadaru is obtained from yenu plus adaru. Okay, ninna sankata yenu, right? What is sankata means what is your trouble, or why, what is your stress? Why are you feeling stressed, or what is your worry? That's ninna sankata yenu. So it's an example with yenu. Now yenadaru ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಮದುವೆಯನ್ನು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಬೇಕು. ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿ, something, do something. By doing something, ಆ ಮದುವೆಯನ್ನು, ಮದುವೆ means wedding, ಆ ಮದುವೆ means that wedding. ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಬೇಕು, I have to stop. ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸು is to stop. ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಬೇಕು means should stop, must stop, right? Okay, then ಏಕೆ, ಯಾಕೆ, why. Now why has got two words. One is ಏಕೆ, another one is called ಯಾಕೆ. Okay, both means why. Okay, so ಯಾಕಾದರೂ, right? ಯಾಕೆ plus ಆದರೂ, ಯಾಕಾದರೂ meaning for some reason. ಯಾಕಾದರೂ ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುವ, for some reason, for any reason at all, will you do this work, right? ಯಾಕಾದರೂ ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುವುದಾ, like that. If you're asking somebody for whatever reason, why do you have to do this work, like that. So that is ಯಾಕಾದರೂ. So for some reason you can say, or for whatever reason, that's ಯಾಕಾದರೂ. So ಯಾಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು avasara. This is a question, I mean this is a sentence example for yake. Yake ishtu undu avasara means why is there so much of avasara means urgency. So why do you have so much of urgency? It's an example for this yake. Then yakadaru basalli ticket illade prayana ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ. So yakadaru for some reason at all in the basalli, ticket illade means without ticket, prayana travel, ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ means have you traveled. So this is ಯಾಕಾದರೂ means for some reason. ಹೇಗೆ means how. ಹೇಗಾದರೂ means ಹೇಗೆ plus ಆದರೂ, somehow. So ಹೇಗೆ, right? ಅಡುಗೆ, ಹೇಗೆ ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡುವುದು, how to do cooking. So this is an example sentence with ಹೇಗೆ. Now ಹೇಗಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಮುಗಿಸಿ, ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. So ಹೇಗಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಮುಗಿಸಿ means do however, somehow, right? Somehow do and finish. ಮುಗಿಸಿ is to finish. ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, I don't know. Somehow you do it. We say these things, right? So that is done with ಹೇಗೆ plus ಆದರೂ. We have seen this before in our previous slide. It's one more review because I have this slide presented here. So we are just reviewing it again, the same concept of adding adaru. I have added more words. This is called henge. So henge is also, it has the same meaning as hege. So you will see henge also used by people. You may feel confused. This is like henge they will say, right? There one more, hyage is there. So there are multiple variations, but let's go through one by one. So henge means also hege, right? Henge means also means how. Sorry, it means hege, so which means how. So henge nanna performance, how was my performance? Then they will say henge, right? Henge means how. Okay, the hange, right? Hange means also how. Hange helabeda, hange they will also say. Hange means like that, not how. So this is henge. Henge means how. Hange means like that, like that. So hange helabeda, hange hela means don't say like that. That's hange. Okay, ನನಗೆ ಬೇಸರ ಆಗಿದೆ. So ಬೇಸರ ಆಗಿದೆ means I'm feeling a bit awkward, irritable. Then that's ಬೇಸರ ಆಗಿದೆ. So hange helabeda means hange means like that. Henge means how. Okay, hyage means also means how, but more accurately it means using what method. How will you get something done? Hyage. Then they will say hyage. Okay, hyage is also, it also means how, but it's like by what means. It's like by what means. That's what this hyage. Okay, so they are all related to hege. Very commonly used. I've seen this hange being used very often. Okay, more interrogative pronouns. So yavaga is when. Yavagadaru is at some time, at any time, right? So it's yavaga plus adaru. So yavagalinda ನೀವು ಸಿಗರೇಟ್ ಸೇದುವುದು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಿದ್ದೀರಿ. So yavagalinda, now here is the vibhakti of yavaga. Yavagalinda means from when. Inda added to yavaga. So yavagalinda ನೀವು cigarette ಸೇದುವುದು means smoking cigarette. ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಿದ್ದೀರಿ, have you stopped. ನೀವು ಯಾವಾಗಾದರೂ cigarette ಸೇದಿದ್ದೀರಾ. So it means have you ever smoked a cigarette. So here ಯಾವಾಗಾದರೂ. So yava means which. Yava tatte nimmadu. Tatte means plate. Which plate is yours. So ಯಾವಾಗಾದರೂ ಅಂಗಿ ಹಾಕಿಕೊಂಡು ಬೇಗ ಬನ್ನಿ. So ಯಾವಾಗಾದರೂ ಅಂಗಿ means any shirt. Just wear any whatever shirt, whichever shirt. Just ಹಾಕಿಕೊಂಡು means wear. ಬೇಗ ಬನ್ನಿ, come quickly. Right? ಯಾವುದು is also which. Okay? So ಈ ಗಲ್ಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿನ್ನ ಮನೆ ಯಾವುದು. In the ಗಲ್ಲಿ means street. In this street your house is which. ಯಾವುದು. Okay, so ಎಲ್ಲಿ means where. Yeah, ಎಲ್ಲಿಯಾದರೂ means somewhere. So, ಹಣವನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡಲಿ. So where should I keep the money. ಹಣವನ್ನು where should I keep. Then ಎಲ್ಲಿಯಾದರೂ ಯಾರು ಕಾಣಾದಂತೆ ಇಡಿ. Right? So this is ed, wrong spelling. It's actually ed. So ed. So ed is to keep. Okay, idu is to keep. ಹಣವನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡಲಿ. So where should I keep the money. ಎಲ್ಲಿ. ಎಲ್ಲಿಯಾದರೂ ಯಾರು, nobody. Right? ಕಾಣಾದಂತೆ. Without no, ಕಾಣಾದಂತೆ means nobody can see. Right? ಕಾಣಾದಂತೆ, like nobody can see. ed. Keep. Okay. Here the spelling is wrong. It's not ed, it's ed. Okay, then ಯಾರು is who. Right? ಯಾರು ಬೆಕ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ ಗಂಟೆಯನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಟುವುದು. So ಗಂಟೆ means bell. So ಯಾರು, who. ಬೆಕ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ means cat. ಬೆಕ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ, to the cat. ಗಂಟೆ, bell. ಕಟ್ಟುವುದು, tie. Who will tie the bell for the cat, to the cat. I mean, you may have heard this story about all the rats wanting to tie a bell on the cat's neck, right? So that's basically, so this is yaru. Yaru is who. So yaradaru means someone, whoever, right? ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾರಾ. ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ sensible. So ಯಾರಾದರೂ, any sensible person, right, will do this work. Like that, it's like a question. Okay, next. So the triplets that I had mentioned before, it's basically yavaga means when, avaga then, ivaga means now. Okay, so you can use these words on its own, or I mean these are triplets. Okay, ishtu, ashtu, ishtu. Ishtu means how much, ashtu means that much, ishtu means this much. So this, I'll give an example of ivaga. Okay, when you say now, when you want to use now, you say okay, ಹೌದು ನಾನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಇವಾಗ ಏನು means now what, so what, like that. People will use that ivaga. Yes, I did it. Yes, I did the crime. ಇವಾಗ ಏನು, or yes, I stole. ಹೌದು ನಾನು ಕದಿಯುತ್ತೇನೆ, ನಾನು ಕದಿದೆ, ನಾನು ಕದ್ದೆ. They will say I stole, right? So ನಾನು ಕದ್ದೆ, ಹೌದು ನಾನು ಕದ್ದೆ. ಹೌದು means yes, ಹೌದು ನಾನು ಕದ್ದೆ. ಇವಾಗ ಏನು means now what will you do, like that. Then they will use this ivaga, right? So like that, the individual words can be used. You can remember them as this way, right? Yavaga, avaga, ivaga. Ishtu, ashtu, ishtu. Then hege, like hege, hage, or you can say hange, hige, right? Hige or hinge, right? Then yadakke means for what, adakke for that, idakke for this, yadakke is also used. Yaru is who, avaru, ivaru, we know that. Yalli, alli, yalli. Yalli means where, alli means there, illi means here. So these are very useful triplets where you can form sentences very easily. Okay. So here is a list of other pronouns. We finished all the major pronouns. These are all the other pronouns that we need to know. Okay, these are specific words. Kelavaru means some people. Kelavaru nimma bagge tappagi mattadiddaru. So some people have talked bad about you. Tappagi means bad. Then halavaru, right? Halavaru means several. Could be people, things. Halavaru janaru, right? Sandeyalli, right? Sunday means it's like a fair, like a market. So there are many different type of people, several people in the market. Namma angadiyalli halavaru bhakshyagalu ive. So in our house, angadi means shop. In our shop, halavaru, various, several. So you can use various also. Several. Bhakshya means eatables. Ive are there. Okay. Ellaru means everyone. Okay. Ellaru means everyone. Okay. Kelavu means some things. Certain, it's countable. Kelavu, some things. Okay. So kelavu vishayagalu heli ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಸುವುದು ಕಷ್ಟ. ಸೊ ಕೆಲವು ವಿಷಯಗಳು ಹೇಳಿ, right? Just with some things ಹೇಳಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಸುವುದು ಕಷ್ಟ. ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಸುವುದು means to make somebody understand. ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡು is to make somebody understand. ಕಷ್ಟ, right? Just by telling some things. ಹಲವು, many things. ಹಲವು ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ಆ ಕೋಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇವೆ. ಕೋಣೆ means room. ಹಲವು ವಸ್ತು, many things are there in that room. ಎಲ್ಲವೂ means everything, right? ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ನಿನಗೆ ಬೇಕು, right? ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ಆಗಲ್ಲ. So ಎಲ್ಲವೂ, if you want everything, ನಿನಗೆ ಬೇಕು means you need, you want. So ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ನಿನಗೆ ಬೇಕು means if everything you need, then ಅಂದರೆ, if that is the truth, ಅಂದರೆ means it means, okay? ಅದು ಆಗಲ್ಲ means that will not do, or that is not possible, right? If you want everything, right? So ಒಬ್ಬನು, one man, right? ಒಬ್ಬನು means one man. I mentioned this before. ಒಂದು ಹಳ್ಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ರೈತ ಒಬ್ಬನು ಇದ್ದ. So this is like in a village, one ರೈತ means farmer. One farmer was there. So this is how stories will be written. ಒಬ್ಬನು. ಒಬ್ಬಳು means one woman. ಹೆಂಗಸು ಒಬ್ಬಳು ಕರೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಬಾ. So bring one woman, like that. Bring one lady. So ಅಷ್ಟು is that much. ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಅಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟ. Many usages of ashtu are there. This is one usage. So ashtu, this work is so difficult. So you will say ashtu kashta. Ishtu, this much. Ishtu dura ಬಂದಿದ್ದೆವು. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅವರ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಬಂದು ಬಿಡೋಣ. ಇಷ್ಟು ದೂರ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೆವು. See, we have come so far. Dura means far. We have come so far, this much far. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ meaning little. ಅವರ ಮನೆಗೆ, his house. ಹೋಗಿ, go. ಬಂದು ಬಿಡೋಣ, let's go to his house and come. There also ishtu will be used. Okay, more nouns. Yava means which. Okay, yavanu means which man. Yavadu means which woman. Yavudu means which thing, right? Yenu means what, right? Yenannu means which. See, yenu with Vitiya Vibhakti means which. ನಾನು ಏನನ್ನು ಹೇಳುವುದು, right? When you say like this, now ಏನನ್ನು ಹೇಳುವುದು, ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪಟ್ಟಿ ಇದೆ. So ಪಟ್ಟಿ means list, big. So this is like an expression. ನಾನು ಏನನ್ನು ಹೇಳುವುದು means what shall I say? There is a big list of my complaints, right? So this ಏನನ್ನು means which. Okay. ಏತರಿಂದ means by, with, through what. ಏತರಿಂದ is to say in the eighth, it's basically the in the by the Tritiya Vibhakti. Yetarinda means by what, through what. ಏತರಿಂದ ಈ ನದಿ ದಾಟುವುದು means how to cross, by what can we cross this river nadi. Datu is to daduvudu, not datuvudu, daduvudu means to cross, right? Dadu is to cross. Okay, etakke or yeke, for what? So they use the two expression etakke or yeke. It means for what or why. Etarinda we saw here, from what also is etarinda, right? From what shall I, if you want to make a sentence, from what will I get this money, right? From where, or from, actually from where only you can say. I don't have an immediate sentence about this from what. So it's like etarinda is, inda is from, right? So it's from what is basically what it is. I immediately don't have a sentence for it. Etara is of what type. So this etara, tara means type. When you say etara, means of what type. So etaralli is in what. So etar alli. So this is alli, the saptami vibhakti. So in what. So these are all things to remember. Now so if you want to, we can create examples with these, but this is just an understanding to say how the vibhakti is applied on the interrogative pronouns, right? Say, for example, etarinda, from, now I remember I can give one sentence. See, from what shall I take water, right? Etarinda neeru togolluvudu, right? If there is a vessel, right, then I want to take water from that. So you can say etarinda, right? From what? Yeah. So so of what type? Etara cinema idu. Of what type of cinema is this? Then you can say etara. Etaralli, in what? Again, etaralli, in what? So these are all other pronouns. Okay? Some more pronouns. We have seen adaru means although, right? Yavanadaru, whosoever. Yavadadaru means whatsoever. Short forms of certain pronouns are there. It is important to know. Adu is a. We know that a means that. Idu means e. Right? Yavudu is yava, short form. Yavudu means which. Short form is yava. Undu is o. Number one, you can actually use one. That's why you get this obbanu, obba. Yaradu is e. Right? So e is a short form of yaradu, which is two. Muru is mu. Right? So mu. And mu janaru, we can say three people. Then you will use mu as a short form of muru, three. Nalku is na. Aidu is I. Right? You can say aivaru. Aivaru means five people. Aivajanaru. Then it's five people. Right? So these are all short forms to be aware of. Other short forms. Aru is ara or ara. Okay, Yelu is 7. Aru is 6. Yelu is 7. You can just say ye or yeppa. Right? These are used in numbers. Yen2 is 8. Yen, you can say yen or yenba. Okay, that is 8. Umbattu. Umbattu is or tumba. These are all short forms or other forms. Okay, hattu is 10. Han, hadi. Hattu itself is used. Hatta is used. Hadina, right? Then dattu. These are all other forms of hattu. Okay. Then naduvu, right? Naduvu is center. Then you can say nut. Natta nadu. Nadu means center. You can say nut for short form, right? Melakku. Melakku means upwards. You can just say me is also short form. Me. Then kelagu. Kela. So kela. So these are actually like a prefix added to other words to say something that is upward flying. Then you say me haruva, like that. Haru is to fly. You'll say me haru. You can't use it on its own. Okay. These are prefixes that represent a bigger form. Prefix to other words. Right? Me haruva, like what I said. So kelagu is downwards. Okay. Kel, you can say as a short form. Okay. Horagu is outside. Hora is the short form. Right? Mundu is front. Mun is the short form. Olage is inside. Wala is the short form. Hinde is behind. Then hin, right? Hintirugu is used very often. Tirugu means to turn. Hintirugu is to return. Okay, that's hintirugu. So that's what I mean. These are all mostly used in prefixes. Okay. Some more. Ata, I mentioned about it, is means that man, right? It is a synonym of avanu. Ake is that woman. Ita is this man. Ek is this woman. Tanu, we saw about it himself, right? Heranu is another man. Other man. Okay, another man. Heranu. This is important. Heralu means other woman. So this is conjugate. I mean, we can conjugate this exactly like avanu. This one can be conjugated as avanu. So this is like another man, right? So other man. So heraru is other. This is very common. Heraru enu yochisuvaru. What will others think? Right? You will say that, right? Whenever you say others in English, that's actually heraru, right? Heraru matu kelabeda. Don't listen to others. Just do what you want. So for those things you use heraru. These are also pronouns, right? So heratu means another thing. There's also another one, other thing. There is another synonym for that, which is itara. Itara also means other thing. Heratu also means other thing. Bere yavaru means others. This also bere yavaru. Bere yavaru means also others. So these are all other pronouns. Okay, so these are some examples of usage of pronouns. I called you. Nanu ninnannu karide. Ninnannu. Okay. So you called him. Neenu avanannu karide. She called them. Avalu avarannu karedalu. We called you all. Navu nimmannu karedevu. It called us. Adu nammannu kareyitu. Those called you. Avu ninnannu karedavu. Right? So you could see, idea here is to show that the subject always follows the tense and how the pronouns are being used. Once you learn tenses, then all these things will make sense. This is just to give you a feel of how pronouns are used. We called him. Navu avanannu karedevu. He called him. Avanu avarannu kareda. You called all of us. Neevu nammannu karede. They called those. Avaru avuvannu karedaru. So I basically mixed up all the pronoun variations into Ditya Vibhakti and presented here. Okay. For example, I gave a pen to you. Nanu ninage. This is Chaturthi Vibhakti. Previous slide was all Ditya Vibhakti. Nanu ninage pen kotte. I gave a pen to you. You gave a book to him. Neenu avanige pustaka kotte. He gave a flower to her. Avanu avalige hoo kotta. She gave a gift to them. Avalu avarige gift kottalu. They gave food to it. Avaru adakke ahara kottaru. Adakke is to it, meaning to it. So it's an animal. I gave love to those. It gave love to those. Adu avakke, right? Preeti kottitu. So this could be like a mother bird, right? Giving love to its babies, right? To its chicks, right? That's avakke, avukke. Those gave love to me. Avu nanage preeti kottavu. I took the pen from you. Nanu ninninda pen togonde. Ninninda, from you, right? Ninninda. You took the book from him. Neenu avaninda pustaka togonde. He took the flower from her. Avanu avalinda hoo togonda. So these are all mixed examples of Chaturthi and Panchami Vibhakti, right? She took the gift from them. There is also Panchami Vibhakti. Avalu avarinda gift togondalu. They took the food from it. Avaru adinda. So this adu adinda, right? Ahara togondalu. It took the love from them. Adu avudinda, avuvinda, right? It took the love from them. So plural, right? So it took the love from those, actually, right? Adu avuvinda preeti toganditu. Those took the love from me. Avu nanninda preeti togandavu. right? Nanninda, so from me. This is my house. Idu nanna mane. This is Shashti Vibhakti. That is your school. Adu ninna shale. That is his office. Adu avana kacheri. Okay, spelling is wrong. Kacheri it should be. Icha is not there, so it's kacheri. It is her dress. Idu avala udupu. Right? Avala, her dress. So those are her bangles. Avu avala baleyaಗಳು. Okay, they are your children. ಅವರು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳು. ನಿಮ್ಮ. ಆ ಲೋಟ ಕೊಡಿ. That ಲೋಟ means tumbler. ಕೊಡಿ, give. ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕವನ್ನು ಓದಿ. ಈ means this. ಪುಸ್ತಕವನ್ನು means book. ಓದಿ, read. ಈ ರಾಮನಗರ. ರಾಮನಗರ is a place. This ರಾಮನಗರ ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವ in present in India. ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವ ಇತರ ಅದರ್ 25 ರಾಮನಗರಗಳಿಂದ 25 is 25 ರಾಮನಗರಗಳಿಂದ means among the 25 ತುಂಬಾ ದೊಡ್ಡದು, ತುಂಬಾ ಬಿಗ್, ವೆರಿ ಬಿಗ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂತಹ ಸೌಂದರ್ಯ ಊಹಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂತಹ, ದಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೌಂದರ್ಯ, ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ. ಊಹಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಈವನ್ ಟು ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್, ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾಟ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಂತಹ, ದಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್. ಒಂದು ಊರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ರಾಜ ಇದ್ದಾನಂತೆ. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಊರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬ, ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್ ರಾಜ. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಮೀನ್ ಒನ್ town, one village, there was a king. Okay, so it's an example of using obba. Okay, ನನಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ or ಕೊಂಚ ಸಕ್ಕರೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. I needed some. ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು means I wanted, I had a need for. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ means little, ಕೊಂಚ is also little. ಸಕ್ಕರೆ is sugar. Okay, ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಲವು ಜನರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದರು. ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು, you, right? ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, to see. ಕೆಲವು, some, ಜನರು, people, ಬಂದಿದ್ದರು, have come. Okay, now then ಮಮತಾ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು, some unknown, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಪುಸ್ತಕವನ್ನು ಓದುತ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಳೆ. ಸೊ ಮಮತಾ is the name of a person. ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು, right? Some unknown, right? That's this, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಪುಸ್ತಕವನ್ನು ಓದುತ್ತಾಳೆ. ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಓದುತ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು ನಾಳೆ ಭಾಷಣ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು. ಸೊ ಯು ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಪುಟ್ ಅವರು ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಶೋ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ತಂದೆ ಅವರು, ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು, ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ದಿಸ್ ಅವರು ಇಸ್ ಕಾಮನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮ್ಯಾಸ್ಕ್ಯುಲಿನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫೆಮಿನಿನ್. ಓಕೆ, ನೀನು ಈ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗು, ನಾನು ಆ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಕಡೆ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಸೈಡ್. ಯು ಗೋ ದಿಸ್ ಸೈಡ್, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ದಟ್ ಸೈಡ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್, ಆ ಕಡೆ. ಸೊ ನಾವೇ ಹೋಗೋಣ, ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಗೋ ಅವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎ ಕ್ಲಿಟಿಕ್, ಅವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್. ನನ್ನನ್ನು ತಪ್ಪು ದಾರಿಗೆ ಎಳೆದದು ನೀವೇ. ಸೊ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ತಪ್ಪು ದಾರಿ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಪಾತ್. ಎಳೆದದು ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಪುಲ್. ಎಳೆ is to pull. ಎಳೆದದು ನೀವೇ, you only. So it's a clitic. ನಾವು 10 ಜನರು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇರೋಣ. ನಾವು 10 ಜನರು, the 10 of us, 10 people, we 10. ಇಲ್ಲೇ, here itself, ಇರೋಣ, let us be here. So it's a clitic again. So ಅವರಿಬ್ಬರು ಹೋಗಿ ನೋಡಲಿ. Let the two of them, ಇಬ್ಬರು, right? Let the two of them go and see. ಈ ಗುಂಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಬಿದ್ದರೆ ಸತ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಕಾಲು ಮುರಿದುಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಗುಂಡಿ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ pit. If ಯಾರಾದರೂ, if someone falls into this pit, ಸತ್ಯವಾಗಿ, certainly they will break their leg. Okay, ನಾನೇ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ. I myself went and gave. So this ನಾನೇ is your, what you call aclitic, right? To say I myself. ನಾವು ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣರು ವಿದ್ಯೆಯನ್ನು ಮರೆಯಬಾರದು. ನಾವು ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣರು ವಿದ್ಯೆಯನ್ನು ಮರೆಯಬಾರದು. We Brahmins should not forget education. Forget about education. ವಿದ್ಯೆಯನ್ನು ಮರೆಯಬಾರದು. Okay, then ಬಾಗಿಲು means door. ಬಾಗಿಲು ತಾನಷ್ಟೇಕೆ ತಾನೇ ಹಾಕಿಕೊಂಡಿತು. ತಾನಷ್ಟೇಕೆ ತಾನೇ means on its own, by itself. Right? This is that reflexive pronoun. ಬಾಗಿಲು means door. ತಾನಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ತಾನೇ is together means by itself. ಹಾಕಿಕೊಂಡ means it closed by itself. ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಮೂವರು ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮೂವರು ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರು, 3 friends. ಮೂವರು ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. This is how you say things like ಮೂವರು ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರು, 3 friends ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. Okay, so with this the presentation ends. Please write your comments and questions to correctkannada@gmail.com. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.